Vunbien MCC Hun. During World War II, air power formed a central component of Germany's military doctrine, supporting ground operations, strategic bombing, reconnaissance, transport, and experimental development across multiple theaters of war. This documentary presents a complete catalogue of all fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft officially operated by Germany during World War II. The scope includes standard frontline types, specialized variants, trainers adapted for combat roles, and aircraft produced in limited numbers that reached operational or semi-operational service. Prototypes without official acceptance are excluded. Captured foreign aircraft are also excluded unless formally integrated into German service structures. Aircraft are organized by primary mission role, as recognized by German military classification. Categories include fighters, fighter bombers, bombers, reconnaissance aircraft, transport and utility aircraft, and experimental or limited service aircraft. Each entry identifies the aircraft's role and its operational context within the Luftwaffe or associated organizations. Messerschmitt Bf 109. Messerschmitt Bf 109 served as Germany's principal single-seat fighter throughout the war, operating in all major theaters. It fulfilled air superiority, interception, and limited ground attack roles within frontline fighter units. Focke-Wulf FW-190. Focke-Wulf FW-190 complemented existing fighter forces as a single-seat interceptor and air defense aircraft. It operated widely in European airspace and supported defensive and offensive air operations. Messerschmitt Bf 110. Messerschmitt Bf 110 functioned as a heavy fighter and long-range escort aircraft. It later transitioned into night fighting and bomber interception roles as operational requirements changed. Messerschmitt Me 163. Messerschmitt Me 163 was a rocket-powered interceptor introduced for point defense missions. It operated in limited numbers under specialized units tasked with countering high-altitude bomber formations. Messerschmitt Me 262. Messerschmitt Me 262 represented the first operational jet fighter. It was employed primarily as a bomber interceptor, while also adapted for limited ground attack missions late in the conflict. Heinkel He 162. Heinkel He 162 was a lightweight jet-powered fighter developed for emergency air defense. It entered limited service during the final phase of the war. Focke-Wulf TAR 152. Focke-Wulf TAR 152 was a high-altitude interceptor derived from earlier fighter designs. It saw restricted operational deployment within specialized fighter units. Messerschmitt Me 209. Messerschmitt Me 209, adapted from a record-setting airframe, was evaluated and briefly operated in a defensive interceptor role without widespread adoption. Focke-Wulf FW-190F and G. Focke-Wulf FW-190F and G variants were adapted for fighter-bomber operations. These aircraft conducted ground attack and close support missions alongside their fighter duties. Messerschmitt Bf 109E and G. Messerschmitt Bf 109E and G variants were employed as fighter bombers during various stages of the war, particularly in tactical ground support roles. Messerschmitt Me 262A-2A. Messerschmitt Me 260 to A-2A was configured for fast strike missions against ground and naval targets, operating in limited numbers under specialized jet units. Henschel Hs 123. Henschel Hs 123, originally a biplane dive bomber, continued to operate in close support roles due to its reliability and adaptability to rough field operations. Heinkel He 111. Heinkel He 111 served as a medium bomber used extensively during early and mid-war operations. It conducted strategic, tactical, and transport missions across multiple fronts. Dornier Do-17. Dornier Do-17 functioned as a light bomber during the early phases of the war, supporting rapid ground advances and tactical bombing operations. Dornier Do-217. Dornier Do-217 expanded bomber capabilities into heavier payload and specialized attack roles, including maritime and guided weapon operations. Junkers Ru-88. Junkers Ru-88 was a multi-role bomber employed in level bombing, dive bombing, night fighting, and reconnaissance roles throughout the war. Junkers Ru-188. Junkers Ru-188 represented an advanced development of the Ru-88, introduced to improve bomber survivability and operational flexibility. Heinkel He-177. Heinkel He-177 was Germany's only heavy bomber to reach operational service. It was deployed in limited numbers for long-range bombing and anti-shipping missions. Junkers Ru-87. Junkers Ru-87 Stuka served as the primary dive bomber during early campaigns, providing close air support and precision strike capabilities. Arado AR-234. Arado AR-234 was a jet-powered bomber and reconnaissance aircraft. It conducted high-speed bombing and reconnaissance missions late in the war. Focke-Wulf FW-189. Focke-Wulf FW-189 was a twin-engine tactical reconnaissance aircraft optimized for battlefield observation and coordination with ground forces. Henschel Hs-126. Henschel Hs-126 operated as a short-range reconnaissance and observation aircraft, particularly during the early stages of the war. Junkers Ru-88. Junkers Ru-88 reconnaissance variants conducted long-range photographic and maritime surveillance missions. Dornier Do-215. Dornier Do-215 reconnaissance variants were adapted from bomber airframes to conduct intelligence-gathering missions over enemy territory. Blum & Voss BV-141. Blum & Voss BV-141 featured an asymmetrical design optimized for observation duties. It entered limited service for evaluation and operational testing. Arado AR-196. Arado AR-196 was a shipborne reconnaissance floatplane used by naval aviation units for coastal patrol and observation missions. Junkers Ru-52. Junkers Ru-52 functioned as the primary transport aircraft for personnel, cargo, and airborne operations. It supported logistics across all theaters. Messerschmitt Me 323. Messerschmitt Me 323 was a heavy transport aircraft developed to move large quantities of equipment and supplies, primarily in Mediterranean operations. Messerschmitt Me 321. Messerschmitt Me 321 was a large transport glider used for heavy cargo delivery during airborne and logistical operations. Heinkel He-111. Heinkel He-111 transport variants supported logistical missions when bomber availability exceeded combat requirements. Fieseler Fe-156 Stork. Fieseler Fe-156 Stork served as a liaison and utility aircraft, providing short field operations for command, observation, and medical evacuation roles. Siebel C-204. Siebel C-204 was employed as a light transport and trainer aircraft adapted for communications and logistical duties. Arado AR-232. Arado AR-232 functioned as a medium transport aircraft designed for rough field operations and tactical supply missions. Blum & Voss BV-138. Blum & Voss BV-138 operated as a long-range maritime patrol flying boat, conducting reconnaissance and convoy patrol missions in limited numbers. Dornier Do-335. Dornier Do-335 was a heavy fighter and interceptor employing a push-pull engine configuration. It entered limited operational service late in the war. Messerschmitt Me 210. Messerschmitt Me 210 was introduced as a multi-role aircraft, but saw restricted service before being supplemented by improved designs. Messerschmitt Me 410. Messerschmitt Me 410 represented a refined heavy fighter and bomber destroyer, serving in interceptor and reconnaissance roles. Heinkel He 219. Heinkel He 219 was a purpose-built night fighter equipped for radar-guided interception. It operated within specialized night fighter units. Focke-Wulf FW-200 Condor. Focke-Wulf FW-200 Condor served as a long-range maritime patrol and reconnaissance aircraft, supporting naval operations over extended distances. Buckarby 181. Buckarby 181, while primarily a trainer, was adapted for limited liaison and utility roles under wartime conditions. Germany's World War II aircraft inventory encompassed a wide range of designs, reflecting diverse operational demands and rapid technological development. From conventional piston engine fighters and bombers to early jet and rocket aircraft, these platforms supported air superiority, ground operations, reconnaissance, transport, and experimental innovation. Together, they represent the full operational scope of German military aviation in the conflict. This concludes the complete catalogue of German aircraft officially operated during World War II.